Hello gainers, I'm Ralphie and welcome to my channel called Fitter Philosophy, in which I discuss stoic infused, practical, experience based philosophy and observations on life. And it's basically, from my perspective, I'm really just sharing with you something not particularly deep and academic and profound and evidenced, but more anecdotal. And in doing so, you take from it what you wish, if anything at all. And my topic today is watching people change around us. And it's something that it takes a few years before you get your bearings, because from day to day, from day to week to month, people often don't change that much. But it's over years, particularly a decade or more, that we can see people really start to change. And this change tends to reflect their success in life, and by success I mean holistic success, not just gaining money, but something much more substantial. It depends on their luck, and by which I mean how is their health. Have they been fortunate in having good health? And good health is basically a lack of the presence of illness. That's how you can define good health. And with good health comes the presence of wellness. And wellness is where you don't just feel healthy, but you feel energized and having full access to all your faculties and your wits. And another thing that influences people over life is the circumstances. So it can be luck, it can be their ability to earn money and have a stable job, but also there's other circumstances, and primarily amongst these is the quality and calibre and good fortune in personal relationships. And it's interesting to note, I've met people over the years who are far happier on their own, in their own space, and much more comfortable in their own skin than those who are out in a relationship trying to maintain the political balance of the relationship in their social environment and their personal economic environment. And you observe this in people, and you start to get better at your observation over time. And I've seen some people who I knew at school, for example, they were very academic, they were being groomed for a good solid professional career, and they've ended up helping out at a farm. And when I never got to really understand the reasons for it, but they suddenly cut themselves off in their mid-20s after they'd left school and gone to university, cut themselves off in their mid-20s from all the family, went to another country and appeared to be quite happy and content doing some humble, straightforward, simple farming assistance tasks, which of course is a very productive thing to do in the scheme of things. And I've known other people who, at college for example, they looked like they were never going to do much with their life. They were too laid back, too easygoing. They looked like they were too easily to exploit. And yet, actually in the work environment, after their academic environment, they seem to have just thrived and blossomed. And the opposite can happen. Someone can be very good academically and yet really struggle to fit into the real practical working culture. And I've known some folk who were really successful footballers or athletes whose health has deteriorated badly. One person, it started with a broken ankle, which had difficulty setting, and they never got to the bottom of it, and they basically lost confidence in themselves and became a couch potato. They became dependent on being an invalid, and they chose to move from being well and fit and active person to being an invalid, but couldn't shake off that invalid status. as a result of which their life is just wasted away before them. They've done nothing, achieved nothing, and they've literally sat and waited. And unfortunately, too many people in the world do sit and wait. And you don't need huge opportunities to be successful in life. I've known people that had a very modest opportunity. One guy came out of prison and the only place he could get a job was basically stacking fruit and veg in a local fruit market. And yet he went on to buy out somebody else's fruit stall when they retired, and he's become, frankly, a very wealthy and successful businessman. And he freely admits his time in prison really sobered him up to the real world. It was almost like his university. And whilst in prison, the old timers, the old lags basically said, right, you've got a choice. You know, you're smarter than the average. You're less violent and aggressive than the average in here. You can do something with your life, so do it. He's done it. He's been very successful. So it works both ways. People who look like they're going to be very successful can stumble and fall, and those who don't show much in the way of promise or any great ambition can actually work out. Things can work out for them really well. So the conclusion here is, how much of it is really down to luck? And I would say actually quite a bit. But luck is too short a word to use. It's too broad a brush type word to be using. It's circumstance, provenance, luck is part of it, but also your fate. This all comes into play. You don't notice it when you're young, but see when you're older, when you get to my age and you start to grey off a little bit, you really see how that does matter, how that kicks in, how that really is quite relevant. So there we have it, a little short sharing of how often fate dictates our path in life, almost like the rolling of the runes or the casting of dice, and we have to play the best with the hand we've got each and every day that we wake up and look out into the world beyond us, and the choice is ours. If we're positive people, that will certainly help. If we're relatively smart as to humans around us, that most definitely helps. But if we are also smart with ourselves, know ourselves, understand our strengths, recognise our weaknesses, and play to the best we've got with the luck we get, it's amazing what a difference that can make. I'm Ralphie, I hope you've enjoyed this. I'm going to leave you for a few seconds with the changing leaves behind me. Autumn is on its way, summer is at an end, and it is a changing of the seasons, and it is, over time, a beautiful and rhythmic thing. Bye now.